Ama namin, pakinggan mo po ang pagtawag namin sa iyong banal na pangalan. Basbasan mo po ang aming pagtitipon at kami kaluguran mo sa araw na ito. Pagyamanin mo po, Panginoon, at maging nakaayon sa iyong kalooban ang aming pagkikita-kita mula sa simula hanggang katapusan. Masalamin nawa namin ang layunin mong dakila sa aming buhay at maisagawa namin ngayon ang aming mga gawain na may kabutihan at pag-ibig sa aming kapwa. Kami po'y naniniklohod sa iyong harapan na kami iyong patnubayan at iwaksi sa aming kaisipan ang anumang masasamang kaisip, inggit at pakikipag-alit sa aming mga kasama. Bigyan mo kami ng sapat na lakas at katalinuhan upang may bahagi naman namin ang aming makakaya sa aming mga kasama sa pagtitipon na ito. Ilagay sa aming diwa at puso ang pagmamahal na hindi naghihintay ng anumang kapalit. Bagkus ay bukas palad na magkakaloob ng anumang tulong. Panalangin namin ang lahat ng ito. Amen.
Good day, everyone. I am Jeremy T. Onde, and I am from BSED Filipino 1-2. So, I am going to introduce the one of the topic of mathematics in the modern world, which is apportionment. And the question is, what is apportionment? Apportionment is the problem of dividing up a fixed number of things among groups of different sizes. Apportionment is also known as analogous estimating. So, what is analogous estimating? Analogous estimating is a technique that uses information from a similar past project in order to estimate the cost and duration of a planned project. So let me show you the synonyms of apportionment. Here are some synonyms of apportionment. Includes allocation, appropriation, division, partition, and also portion. The origin of the word apportionment is from French apportioner, from Old French apportioner. Apportion, share out, from a negative to open and close parenthesis, C add, minus, and plus, portioner, to divide into portions, from portion to share, portion. Let me show you the 4 rules of apportionment. First rule: the things being divided up can exist only in whole numbers. Second rule: we must use all of the things being divided up and we cannot use anymore. Third rule: each group must get at least one of the things being divided up. And the last but not the least, the number of things assigned to each group should be at least approximately proportional to the population of the group. And that will be all about what is apportionment.
Hello everyone! Have a nice day. I am Dave Nino and Topic8Pertimos. So for today, we will talk about voting. Voting is a fundamental pillar of any democratic society, serving as the cornerstone of citizen participation in the political process. It is a means by which individuals express their preferences and opinions on various issues, from electing leaders to deciding on important policy matters. In this introduction, we will explore the significance of voting and its essential role in shaping the course of a nation's history. So, ang pagbuto di ay guys, usa ka fundamental nga ligi sa bisan unsang demokratikong katilingban nga nag-alagad nga batuan sa partisipasyon sa mga molupyo sa prosesong politikal. Kini usa ka paagi di na mga individual nagapadayon sa ilang magapasabot og opinyon sa mga lain-laing isyu. Gikan sa pagsugod sa mga lider ngadto sa pagpasiugda sa mga importante nga mga isyu sa patakaran. So, first and foremost, voting is the embodiment of the principle of self-governance. It empowers individuals to have a direct say in the decisions that impact their lives, communities, and the nation as a whole. By casting their votes, citizens contribute to the information of a government that ideally reflects the collective will of the people. This active engagement in the democratic process is what sets apart democratic nations from autocratic or authoritarian regimes. Una og labaw sa tanan, ang pagbotar mao ang paglalang sa prinsipyong self-governance. So, kini naghatag og gahom sa mga individual nga moapil sa desisyon nag-antos sa ilang kinabuhi, komunidad ug ang tibuok o nasod. So, pinaagi di ay sa pagbutang sa ilang mga buto guys, ang mga lumulupyo nag-ambit sa paghimo sa usa ka gobyerno nga ideal nga nagatubang sa kolektibong kabubuton sa mga tawo. Kining aktibong pagsalmot sa demokratikong proseso mao ang nag-ila sa demokratikong nasod gikan sa mga rehimeng autokratiko o authoritarian. Furthermore, voting is a mechanism for accountability. It enables citizens to hold their elected representatives responsible for their actions and decisions. When politicians know that their election depends on the satisfaction of their constituents, they are more likely to act in the best interest of the people they serve. This accountability fosters transparency and good governance, which are vital for a healthy democracy. So, labaw pa niini kuno guys, ang pagbotar usa ka mekanismo alang sa accountability. Kining nagtugot sa mga lumulupyo nga pahamtangon ang ilang gipili nga mga representante alang sa ilang magibuhat og mga desisyon. Sa oras nga naibaw-an sa mga politiko nga ilang pagbalik sa poder nakadepende sa kahumugaway sa ilang mga sakop. So gitugon kini kuno guys nila nga motrabaho alang sa kaayuhan sa mga tawo nga ilang gipang-alagaran. Kini nga accountability nagpalambo og kahayag ug maayong panggobyerno nga mahinungdanon alang sa usa ka malusog nga demokrasya. Voting also plays a crucial role in promoting inclusivity and diversity in a society. In a truly democratic system, every eligible citizen has the right to vote, regardless of their background, beliefs, or socio-economic status. This inclusivity ensures that the government represents a wide spectrum of perspectives, fostering a sense of unity and fairness among the population. Ang pagbotar usab nagdala og dakong papel sa pagtanyag sa kalinaw ug kahugpong sa usa ka katilingban. Sa usa ka tinuod nga sistema sa demokrasya, ang matag kwalipikadong lumulupyo adunay katungod sa pagbotar. Bisan unsa ang ilang pinagalingan, pagtuo o status sa ekonomiya. Kining kalinaw nagtino sa gobyerno nga nagrepresentar og kasagaran sa mga perspektiba, nagtanyag og pagbati sa paghugpong katarungan sa tunga-tunga sa katawhan. Moreover, voting is a peaceful means of resolving conflicts and disputes. In democratic societies, disagreements and differing opinions are inevitable. However, rather than resorting to violence or authoritarian measures, citizens can channel their grievances through the ballot box. This peaceful transfer of power is a hallmark of stable democracies, preventing the descent into chaos or tyranny. Dugang padiay, ang pagbotar usa ka malinawong paagi sa paglusad sa mga gubot ug mga di pagsugot. So guys, sa mga demokratikong katilingban, ang mga di pagkasinabot o mga lain-laing opinyon, dili kuno maiwasan. Apan, sa dili pagpanagot o karahasan o mga otoritaryanong lakang, ang mga lumulupyo makadaog sa ilang mga pagpamatok pinagi sa kahon sa buto. Kini nga malinawong paghatag o gahom, usa ka tatak sa kalinawong demokrasya nga nakapugong sa pagpaila ngadto sa kagubot o tiranya. So mao na ang gipasabot sa maong pagboto o pagbotar. So there are different objectives of voting. First is the democratic representation. Second is the accountability. Third is the participation. Fourth, protection of rights. Conflict resolution. Legitimacy. Expression of preferences. Equality. And lastly, change and progress. So first is the democratic representation. So democratic representation is to allow citizens to have a say in the governance of the country or locality, ensuring that leaders are chosen through a fair and inclusive process. Next is the accountability. So accountability, holding elected officials accountable for the actions and decisions by giving citizens the power to choose or replace them in periodic elections. Next is the participation. Participation encouraging civic engagement and political participation among the population, fostering a sense of ownership in the political process. So the fourth is the protection of rights. So protection of rights, safeguarding individual and minority rights by preventing the concentration of power and promoting the rule of law. So next is the conflict resolution. So conflict resolution, providing a peaceful means for resolving political disputes and preventing violence or unrest that might otherwise arise. Next is the legitimacy. Legitimacy, ensuring that the government has the consent of the governed, thereby enhancing its legitimacy and stability. So next is the expression of preferences. So expression of preferences, allowing citizens to express their preferences on various policies and issues, shaping the direction of government. Next is the equality. Equality, promoting the principle of one person, one vote, which aims to ensure that every citizen's voices carries equal weight in the political process. Lastly, change and progress. So change and progress, allowing for peaceful transitions of power and adaptation to changing circumstances, promoting societal growth and development. So guys, these objectives may vary in emphasis and importance depending on the specific political system and cultural context of a given country or region. So that's the objectives of voting. So here's the conclusion of voting. So voting is not merely an act of civic duty, it is the lifeblood of democracy. It empowers citizens to shape their future, hold leaders accountable, promotes inclusivity, and ensures peaceful governance. As we delve deeper into the world of voting, we will explore its history, the mechanics of elections, voter rights, and the challenges and responsibilities that come with this essential democratic practice. So that's all about voting.
So good morning everyone. I am Angela Diconcon. So I'll be the one who will discuss about Unit 3.1 Weighted Voting Systems. So before we go to the topic, we must read first the objectives. So objectives in this topic, student can be able to A. Define weighted voting systems, B. Unlock some vocabulary words, and C. Know how to compute weighted voting systems. So what is weighted voting? So weighted voting, it is wherein each vote has some weight attached to it. Let's say, for example, in a corporate voting where shareholders' vote counts are proportional. When I say proportional, it means corresponding in amount to something else, to the amount of shares they invest in the company. Each individual with one share gets one vote, while individual with 10 shares gets the equivalent 10 votes. So meaning to say, when we say weighted voting, it's like a variable that has a corresponding value. We will begin with some basic vocabulary words to have a clear understanding of weighted voting systems. So first is quota. So it is a minimum weight needed for the votes or weight needed for the resolution to be approved. From the word minimum, it is the required amount needed. Next is coalition. So it is a group of players or voters voting the same way. Winning coalition is a coalition if a coalition has enough weight to meet quota. Losing coalition, it is a coalition with votes less than quota. Current coalition, it is a coalition consisting of all the players. Then critical voter, lastly, is a member of a winning coalition, and thereby, if the member's vote makes the difference between winning and losing. At this time, we're going to compute weighted voting systems. But before that, we must define first the Banzhaf Power Index. So, the Banzhaf Power Index was originally created by Lionel Penrose in 1946 and was introduced by John Banzhaf in 1965. So the Banzhaf Power Index would be a mathematical representation on how likely a single state could be able to swing the vote. So the Banzhaf Power Index is a formula to compute weighted voting systems. Formula BPI R equals number of times number of times voter is a critical voter over number of times any voter is a critical voter. Here's the example. So let's solve the example given. So before we solve it, we must read the example first. So suppose the sponsors are voting collectively based from their political affiliation. Currently, there are 24 senators who are from different political affiliations, namely Nationalista Party, Nationalista Coalition Party, Liberal Party, and United Nationalist Alliance. With the following numbers of senators, 11, 7, 5, and 1 respectively. To be able to pass a Senate resolution, it needs at least 13 votes. So determine the following. A. Voting system of the Senate. B. Total possible coalition. C. List of all winning coalitions. D. The critical voters for each winning coalition. And E. The Banzhaf Power Index for each political affiliation. Solution. So we must list first the given number of senators with different political affiliations attached. So let NP equals 11 votes, NPC equals 7 votes, LP equals 5 votes, UNA equals 1 vote, and the N is the number of 4. So 4 political affiliations. So N equals 4 political affiliations. So next is to determine the voting system in the Senate. So the voting system is 13 is to 11, 7, 5, and 1. So next is list the total possible coalition. So the total possible coalition is 2 raised to the power of n minus 1 equals 2 raised to the power of 4 minus 1 equals 16 minus 15. Minus 1 equals 15. So list all the winning coalitions. Note that a winning coalition must have at least 13 votes or greater. So we must add the following pair to get their number of votes. You need to pair the political affiliations to the other political affiliations to get their number of votes. So next is to list the critical votes. To list the critical voters of winning coalition. Note that a voter who leaves a winning coalition, which results to losing coalition, is a critical voter. So we need to subtract it. So for example, In a winning coalition, NP and PCLP with 23 votes. So if NP leaves, then the remaining votes is 12, which is not enough to pass the Senate resolution. If NPC leaves, then the remaining votes is 16, which is greater than the quota. Because the quota here is at least 13 votes or greater. So if LP leaves, then the remaining votes is 18, which is greater than the quota. Thus, NP is the critical voter while LP and NPC are not critical voters. Then we first denote the number of any voter is a critical voter to establish the Banza Power Index of each political affiliations. So the number of times any voter is critical is 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 0 equals. Now we can compute the Banzaf Power Index for each voter. So BPI and P. So we must take first the NP. So BPI NP equals number of times voter is a critical voter over number of times any voter is a critical voter. So equals 5 divided by 12 equals 0.416. So where did I get the 5 there? So I just simply count how many critical voters of NP are, and then so on. And BPI and PC equals 3 over 12 equals 0.3333. Then BPI LP equals 3 over 12 equals 0.3333. Then BPI UNA or UNA equals 1 over 12 equals 0.0833. Overall, so notice that the Voter Nacionalista Party has the highest power index, Nacionalista People's Coalition has the second highest power index, and Liberal Party has the third power index, and United Nationalist Alliance, UNA, has the least power index.
So, that's all for today, and I hope you understand the Chapter 8 topic, which is the apportionment and voting theory. And then, please don't forget to answer the following questions in the next slides. Thank you everyone, and God bless us all.